Everything tastes like puke.
Hello and welcome to the Quackcast. This is Quackcast number 326. We've been doing these for a long time. So, I'm Ozone Ocean, of course. And today we have Tance Serene. Hello, Tance.
Hello.
Hello, Pitface.
Everything tastes like puke.
And we have Baines. Hello, Baines.
Hello.
Hello. All four of us together. This is an unusual occurrence at the moment because Pitface is, of course, out being a Indiana Jones Lara Croft at the archaeological site. So, yeah, we're finally together again. And for this Quackcast, we're going to chat about redesign for Drunk Duck, because a graphical redesign anyway, because Drunk Duck's looking a bit long in the tooth now. It's a bit old looking, a bit twee. So hopefully we can get some people together to decide on some fancy, sexy new layouts the site needs. So that's what we're going to have a chat about: layout design and graphical design elements and things like that. But before we get into that, I have to introduce the featured music. So not the featured music. It's the featured comic, isn't it? All right.
Yes.
So the featured comic is... Hello, I'm Ozone Ocean. And this week, our feature was brought to us by Jinjoke. Jinjoke's doing features again. And his feature was Kyan the Courageous. In the near future, a pandemic has wiped out much of the population. Most of the survivors are left with special powers and are referred to as AMs. Amplified humans. Kyan is a throwback to a bygone era. He has no gifts, except he has done a deal with a non-corporeal entity called Courageous, with a K, which will give him powers if he earns them. The comic has fantastic black and white art and strong characterization that explores what it is to be who you are against a violent future. So you should check out Kyan the Courageous, rated E. The characters look rather different. They look sort of like African American rapper sort of things, in baggy clothes and big t-shirts and big hair. So that's a rather unusual look for a general book of comics, and it's interesting because of that. And the artwork is sort of, I don't know, like pencil sketch. It's all black and white. It looks to me anyway, and it looks really good, funky. It's an unusual and striking look, and as Jinjoke says, an interesting and striking story. So yeah, you should have a look. It's rated E. Fantastic looking comic. And that was the featured comic.
Oh, very smooth.
I hope you like
Let's
it.
see what you did there.
And now we have the featured music, of course. Gumwallis, as our fantastic New Zealand composer, musician, multi-talented Renaissance man. And this week he has given us the theme to A Simple Scribe by DJ Malaki. And it's rated M. Simple Scribe. So it's sort of a 3D webcomic, 3D renders. It's an interesting little medieval tale. Anyway, this music by Gumwallis. It's a very serene duet by guitar and piano. Speaking of an older, simpler time, there's almost a touch of Western sound in there too. Sort of, like a romance of the Old West. Slightly. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the theme to A Simple Scribe. Take it away, Gumwallis. And that was our featured music. Oh my god, I'm getting good at this.
Yes, very nice.
It's a great theme too. Graphical layout of Drunk Duck. What do you guys think about the whole UI of Drunk Duck, the whole user interface, the look of it? Of say the front page.
It's not. I don't feel it's confusing. I think it's properly laid out, if you could say that, but I don't think it's particularly inspiring. Yeah. I think it's just kind of, little chunks of images go across the page and they kind of get lost. It's almost, there's too many. Like with the, there's just too many at once, and it's just a little too much.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a better way that it could be handled, I think.
What about those colors as well? So we've got the greens and the yellows and the other yellows and the other greens, and gets on your
Looks very
nerves.
much like a frog.
Yes, it does. Lily pads and things. This is Kermit land,
And
pretty much.
like it's a duck. It's not a frog. I think personally, I never liked the color scheme when this actually was installed.
Oh, it's all coming out now. It's all coming out.
Yeah. It's full disclosure. I'm going to absolutely and say everything I think.
Well, I never liked your mother either. No, of course I do. She's a lovely lady. No, the colors. Yeah, they're hard to get used to.
I mean, and the reason I didn't like the colors is that they clash in a way that make it difficult to keep focused on the site.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my eyes are extremely tired as a rule, so other people probably are not as bothered, but it really on me. Like, I cannot
I think I've
really
heard
use the
that's for a
colors.
number of people. That's usually the first complaint I hear come up, is that the colors are kind of not cool.
Yeah, the colors are offensive.
No, not cool is a nice way to put it.
Okay, so we've got a color issue. What about, say, everything's like it's a little chunk things. It's got these shapes around it. So we've got the top banner with this big green kind of square with rounded edges. Then we've got this yellow, like weird rectangles kind of encapsulating everything. Yeah, encapsulating, which was good.
Wow.
6-7 years
Word
ago.
of the week, encapsulate.
Encapsulate.
It's a good word.
It was good a few years ago, but now that's a little tired because we have things floating these days, in graphics, and we have images that can stand alone. Things don't need to be encapsulated and imprisoned in shapes, do they, anymore?
Well, I think that the biggest issue, I mean, the way that I'm really watching the one that you come in visiting the site for the first time, really, but I think that there are a lot of things that aren't needed to be presented in the first page.
Yes.
And they would work better as maybe drop-down menus or maybe even buttons that someone could click on. For example, you have the feature... Oh, sorry, am I talking to...
No.
Sorry.
Go on.
So you have like the featured comics as one here, and then you have these random latest updates. So I think could have, for example, the featured comics center, and you could have buttons for most popular, which could be like the top 10. The comic could be queries random, like buttons, for example, and latest updates could be last updated, and you click on that and you like the latest updates.
Okay, yeah.
So you only have the featured.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Iron Scarf mentioned that in the Facebook, the Junk Duck page, he mentioned something similar to that. So he suggested, just one row. So, as you were saying, I think, say just the top 10. And then have a drop down, and then you can select whether you want to show the random or the latest updates. So you can pick whichever one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion. We don't have to show all those things.
I wouldn't say the top 10. At the expense of sounding a little crabby, like I wouldn't say the top 10 because they're already, say, the featured ones.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones that we would like to showcase, and they maybe don't have as much. I think that a very prominent, big, attractive button with most popular or top 10 or something like that. Because you give the choice of, going and see which ones are the most popular on the platform.
Yeah.
People do click on most popular.
That's true. And they're popular because people already look at them anyway and they don't really need buttons for that because people will find them regardless. Although...
Well, you could have the button.
Yeah. The only argument in favour is that it showcases ones that are popular for a reason and would make people come back.
Mm-hmm.
But... Yeah, there are ways of hiding, or not hiding per se, but not making them so upfront, and sort of giving that real estate to other things that need it more, like latest updates, which needs it much more. Random is a good feature, but we don't really need to show 10 random comics, do we? Could we just limit that down, or have them somewhere else? I'm not sure. I mean, I would automatically, think about just getting rid of the random feature, but then how else are we ever going to see those dead webcomics? And because they are completed, it's well worth having a look at them because you can see the whole comic. Go on.
We could have like a whole menu of, show me only completed comics.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It could be its own gallery.
That's really what Quail's Random should only have, only completed comics. Comics more than one page. They'd have to... it'd be tricky because how do you know whether a comic is completed? Someone could, go through their comic and mark it as complete, or we could have a team of volunteers going through the comics and marking them as complete. So we've got that organised in our database. We've got no other way of doing it other than people actually checking. So,
you could have like a...
Just have it... Sorry, Tanch, you're probably about to say the same thing I am.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. And maybe you're saying this just now anyway, because I had to pull my head away to see who was calling. But, Maui, get out of there. Damn it. Anyway, what was I going to say? So a way to mark the completed comics, just have the person mark if their comic is completed.
Yeah. That's an option, but we've got all the other webcomics that are, say, abandoned, that people aren't working on anymore. So we've got to have someone actually going through and marking all those comics.
If you want to be that thorough about it, but we'll still have thousands of comics to choose from.
There's also...
then you just lose out. Then you abandon it and you just lose out, which isn't about the specific person losing out. It's good, like you were saying, it's good work that isn't seen, and that's unfortunate. But between the two choices, which is better? Are you actually going to get a group of people together to go through and read through comics and mark which ones are complete, which ones are... Especially when something has been so-called abandoned, do you have a...
Oh, we've lost Pitt in mid-time.
Oh, no, I know, what was she about to say?
She was going to say, do you have a right to say it's completed?
You could... this is easily resolved over time if you have like a small link saying something like not complete, let us know, or something like that, and have some kind of like a small flag, like someone can click and say, okay, this is not a complete comic, but you know what I mean? Like how they do in video compilation sites where they say video broken reported. So you could have something like not complete. Like, so if it's actually not complete, eventually you will get someone, you don't need to worry about it.
They'll mark it complete themselves. That's interesting. Yeah.
And then if it's flagged as not actually complete by a reader, then it would just go off of that list type thing. Am I understanding that right?
Possibly. We'll do some more thinking of it.
No?
That's...
Okay.
I was kicked out.
Yeah.
What is the consensus?
It was that we'll have like incomplete flags on comics, and it's when people eventually read through it or whatever, you know, they can suggest whether it's complete or not, but everything will just automatically say incomplete until someone actually flags it as being complete. Was that it, Tance?
Didn't you just reverse it just now? Do you flag it complete or do you flag it incomplete?
It's automatically incomplete. Everything's incomplete until it's flagged as complete. Until someone actually says, hang on, this is a completed work. Is that right? I don't know. Shit. This is complicated.
We're having a connection problem,
I think that the author should be the only one that has the right to say whether a work is completed.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It should just be in your comic overview where you do your rating or you do your whatever, have another little box where they check. When the comic is finished, they check complete, and that puts it in the category of completed comics.
All right.
That works better.
That's what we'll do when we get some more functionality on, because I mean that's a side issue, of course, because functionality is a deeper thing and it's a lot harder to do and more expensive, whereas the look and feel is a bit easier. I mean, it is in a way anyway, because we can make the site look a certain way without changing deep functionality. But say, all right. So, other things for the look and feel, we've got useless stuff on the side as well. Say the front page, we've got a huge Quackcast link, the Duck Quackcast, which, you know, that's good. We want people to look at the Quackcast, but there are other ways of doing it. We don't have to take up massive screen real estate. We've got these stupid sidebars. When you scroll down, the whole news post of this skinny little thing, and there's this massive green bar on the side, and all these stupid links for Face Duck and Quack Tweet and stuff like that. Which, we can simplify that down.
And I think that there are certain things that maybe I'm not aware, but I don't know how much they are used, like tutorials and stuff like that. And do people actually update that kind of thing on the Duck?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the tutorials for a year, so it could be full of spam.
Yeah. And the community blog would be repurposed, like instead of having this much space for the community blog like this, because it's not the main thing. News posts and everything.
I'll go on.
Is not the comics. So it actually on the sidebar, in the spotlight, in the place where you have a spotlight, or on the right on the green stripe thing, you could have like of rotating recent news posts, and people, if they like, they can click on that. But it doesn't really take space that could be used to feature comics and be, promoting people's comics more in the front page.
Well, yeah, we did have that at one stage, and it didn't really work, unfortunately, in that, say, news posts were an important kind of way of communicating site-wide to a lot of people. There wasn't any way to really unify the community or really communicate to the community. When the news posts got minimized and they got turned into tiny. So we did find that didn't work well when we shrunk them down too much. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think it doesn't really bother me really too much right now the way the news posts are, because I feel like the first thing you still see when you come into the website is the comics. And then you have to scroll, at least on my device, to see the news posts. And I think it would be a shame to, and I know you weren't saying to hide any of them, but I think it would be a shame to, like I was saying, to minimize any of them too much, because if you look, there's no two news posts are alike. There's such a variety between what all the authors write, and it's really cool to scroll through and see, like, oh, like maybe I'm interested in reading this today or this today. And as Oz was saying, it's also, a way to bridge the gap between the site and the site itself. It's a way of communication. So I agree, we could think of maybe a different way to present it, but I don't think that it takes too much attention.
Yeah. That's as Tant says, the most important thing is, of course, the comics. Yeah, but we've got to do that without, taking over from the news posts, or we've got to not sacrificing too much of what makes the site unique and interesting. Because one of the other things, of course, is that, say, other webcomic sites like Tapastic or Webtoon, all these other ones, they don't have that kind of aspect to them. They don't have that community engagement as much. So we've really got to stay with the things that make us unique. Oh, go on.
To me, I mean, people really like, or they seem to like, I don't know, Tapastic. For me, I mean, maybe I'm getting too old, I don't know, but I cannot really use it. I mean, I do have the comic there.
Yeah.
And updating it is weird for me. I don't really know how to do it exactly. So I update once a year with a chunk of pages. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I'm saying is that I like the way that you can navigate the site, like you know where to go to do certain things. I don't think we should to disappear in a sense. I mean, this should be a main feature of the site, no matter what incarnation it has. I think that simply by the list used features and maybe giving it new colors, a new color scheme that is easier to the eyes, be enough to make the trick, to do the trick.
Yeah, well, we do have some layouts that people have given. I've done my layout. I worked all bloody Saturday on this damn thing to do a layout.
I liked yours a lot. It had that dark background, but it wasn't a boring background. And then everything else kind of popped against it. I think, an easy concept as that is, it's good. It does what it's supposed to do.
Thank you. I was inspired by because I posted in the Drunk Duck forums, and we had some people commenting on it. And Amelius of Chubby the Vampire, she commented and said, "Look, our thumbnails and our features are too tiny. They take up this much room compared to, say, a simple comic promo banner on these other websites. You know, they take up this tiny bit of room." And so she had all our thumbnails and all the features floating above this banner to show the size difference. And I thought, actually, that makes a fantastic idea for a front page. You could have our thumbnails and our features floating above a background image, and, you know, have some text just floating around it. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to make a theme based on that. So that was my idea, though. You know, I haven't incorporated the thing of hiding the top 10 and the random and stuff like that, which fantastic ideas, by the way. But yeah, so got rid of all the encapsulation, so we haven't got any of that bloody, you know, lines and shapes and all this kind of closing everything in. I moved all the links and everything up only to the top bar, so you'll have the control panel link up there as well. So no longer a huge, stupid block that, say, I've been using the site since, you know, as we've all been using the site since it got changed into what it is now. But even so, I forget to look at that bloody control panel space, you know, with my avatar and the inbox link and all that. Do you guys ever look at that? Where it's got your avatar and that little spot there on the right-hand side?
Yeah, I look at it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I look at that too.
I look at it to see if I've gotten any mail, and I haven't.
Me too.
Well, I miss it myself.
Yeah, same here.
But what I'm thinking is we could easily move that functionality onto the top right-hand corner of the top bar, because that's what all sites do. They all have logins and that functionality up in the top bar. So that's another way of, you know, saving space, at least I think, anyway. And it could be that way through, like, when you're looking at comics and everything, you'll notice that some of the links, some of the site functionality changes. You know, links change in the top bar when you're looking at comics compared to when you're looking at other pages in the site. Your little user control panel disappears and you just have a My Control panel, but you've got no way of knowing.
Yeah.
There's no functionality there at all. It's just a simple link. So what I think is we should have the full functionality inside that top bar. That way it's always available. You always know whether you've got an email or a PQ or whatever we call it on us.
We still get that big, I haven't gotten a message in a long time either, but we still get that big pop-up when we get a message, though, don't we?
Yeah, of course, but you can turn that off. And once you turn it off, how do you know you get a message? You know, you have to look at your tiny little indication.
Yeah.
So
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. If we had like a little email indication on the top bar and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's my thoughts.
I mean, is that an issue of functionality? I mean, changing which is more expensive, of course. Bring back that.
I'll go on.
The feature that we used to have back in the day, that when you actually got the comment, you got a notification and actually where that comment was. So
you mean like you mean the Drunk Duck Assistant that you had to actually download and install, which told you where the comment was.
Yeah, that one.
That will be functionality. Yeah, I do want to introduce that. But that will be a major functionality thing.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
The last couple times I looked into my comics, I kind of crossed my mind, like, you know, isn't it kind of archaic that we don't know when we get new comments?
Yeah.
You know, it's like kind of a part of every kind of social thing now.
Yeah.
We don't know, so...
That's a major. That's a definite thing that I would like to have on the site, where you would have like one page in your control panel. You click on it, and it will show you what comics you've gotten and comments you've gotten, and exactly where they are. So, and whether you've had a comment replied to as well. Because there's the reply function now, so you're able to go back. Okay, this author's replied to me. Can I have a conversation? We're doing this. We're having a conversation. So you can actually do that without having to check. It'll all be on that one thing. You'll have a huge, paginated list. So you go down like 10 or whatever, or 20, and the next page and the next page.
And I also think that would be like a huge attraction for everyone if it came back as a feature. And I mean, I think comic creators would want to use the site just for that, because I don't think it exists really anywhere.
Yes.
I mean, there are some. Ever something that was as good and as efficient as that little program there.
DeviantArt has got it. It's a bit clumsy on DeviantArt. Some news blog sites have got it. I've got to pause the recording now. So we were talking about places where we've got all the comments and things like that all collated together. So Gizmodo is a good example of this. It now, at least the Australian Gizmodo, which is what I look at, you can look at a section where it shows where all your recent comments are and things. So yeah, I think that would be a bit of an expensive one to do. Probably cost us about $1,000 or something to get done, but it'll be popular.
Yeah,
but maybe we could crowdfund for this.
Yeah, well, that's what we did for the other updates. Yeah,
totally.
Definitely try and crowdfund that edition. Now we've got our functionality and all our major stuff with the site fixed. That's a good thing to have. I think that would be popular. But so we've talked about the front page so far and how that looks. What about other parts of the websites? They also look a bit crappy and shitty. I mean, we could get rid of certain sections, like you were saying, the tutorial. No one uses that anymore. Well, maybe they do. I don't think many people do, really. That's doesn't have to be a major part of the site. Videos, no one ever looks at those.
Do we have that?
Yeah.
I thought that didn't work. Oh, okay.
Well, but only for me, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can upload videos that no one will ever see. So, yeah. We have the store section that doesn't work and crap like that.
What about a review section? There's lots of comics that do reviews on the website. What if there was, and that's part of a way that people become familiar with a lot of comics. It could kind of help give people an idea of where to start if they want to find something new,
Okay.
And once again, like Tanya was saying, it could maybe be in like a little subsection or something like that, but to include a review section might be worthwhile.
Turn the tutorials into reviews, maybe. Repurpose the whole thing.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Because there's stars people can put on them, and there's all the kind of... It has all the features you would want in a review, which is perfect for it. Yeah. Well, perhaps we'll do that rather than get rid of the tutorials. We'll try and repurpose them.
I contributed.
We have some images to look at anyway. So you guys have said that you like my redesign that I did, my little one with the background image, funky one. Now we also have one by Stinger to have a look at. Stinger, have you read Stinger's webcomic?
I'm not sure.
It was featured last week or the week before. It's about this dragon, 2 dragons. It's pretty good. I'm liking it so far. So Stinger gave us a more compact version of our current design. Let's see. What's Stinger's version look like? It's not bad. But it's still going with the same, encapsulation and stuff like that. So it looks a bit busy, really, I think. Oh yeah, I remember. One of the most important things about a new redesign for the site is the site at the moment is designed for smaller screens, basically, because it was designed, back a few years ago where people had, the larger size screens were pretty rare. But now most people have, screens that are about 1,920 pixels wide. So gigantic, which means Drunk Duck is this tiny little pimple in the middle of a giant screen spread out with, green bars on one side, green bars on the other, and this tiny little bit of content in the middle. So what we're thinking about is...
Well, you also have people using phones, though, and like my laptop is pretty small, so it should be able to fit pretty much in any screen.
That's true. So we need an adaptable site that can take advantage of huge screen real estate and not look bad, not look crappy, as well as compact down to fit into a phone screen or a tablet. There's two ways of doing that, whether you have an adaptable site that can, things just change position to fill the space, or you have a mobile-only site. I hate mobile-only sites myself because they hide functionality and they also change functionality. So you can't do all the things that you can do on a mobile site, and they don't update as quickly as the main site. You update the mobile site and then you have to go and redo the main site if you want to add the same functionality and vice versa. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, like optimization, I think they call it, is probably the way better way to go, where it will adjust to,
Yeah, a site that can compact down and fit into whatever space you need is a bit better. Because you resize browser windows too, don't you? For me anyway, I don't have my browser window take out the whole space. I shrink it down. I have 2 browser windows next to each other, or 3, because I work, and I have to use the screen real estate. I don't have it expanded across the entire screen. So that's one of the ways to go. But because we're thinking about working on a newer, bigger screen for the main presentation, we've got to think about what's the maximum size we're going to make the site for, and what is the... It's more like what is the minimum size that is the maximum, if you know what I mean. What is the smallest large screen that people use these days? So, say my screen, my Syntec, and even my laptop, they're like 1,600 pixels wide, which is not gigantic compared to what other people have. I think a standard for most people is, like I said, 1,900. So 1,600, that's quite a bit wider than what we used to have on screens, but perhaps that would be the minimum. I'm not sure. What about your guys? What are your screen sizes? Do you know?
On my desktop, I have something like what you said. I think it's around 1,500 pixels wide, something like that. Or
about 1,500.
But I think it's something like that. But on the laptop, it's like an 14 inch.
Okay, 14 inch, yeah. Oh, we've
Which
lost...
is something like...
Okay.
I think it's something like 1,200 or 1,000 something. It's much smaller anyway. That's the point.
Okay, about 1,200. Okay.
Mine's maybe smaller. I don't know, my laptop looks smaller than that. My desktop is 250 pixels. It's a pet computer.
250 pixels.
But you don't have to cater to that. Don't worry about it.
It's a Game Boy. That's what
you're
using.
Exactly.
And we can't hear Pit at the moment. She's muted.
There, I've unmuted because I'm like eating and all sorts of stuff. So, groaning. I just use a tablet, so
yeah.
I don't know how many pixels that is, but it's just a little tablet.
It's like okay. So it's a tablet screen, yeah. Okay, so those would be.
I was going to show you guys a picture of it, but then I realized I'm on my tablet and I can't do that.
Use a mirror.
Yeah, then I gotta get up.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not that dedicated to the cause. Today's been rough.
Getting mirrors. That's a hard.
I think that we should. The site should look good on tablets, laptops, and desktops.
Yes.
And maybe if we have the capacity to get to phones, but at least the tablets should be functional.
Yeah, functional on tablets.
I think.
So, all right. So maybe then we should think about, all right, what the maximum then? So the maximum will be 1,900, say. That'll be the maximum we'll aim for. The medium will be maybe 1,200, which is quite small, actually. That'll be our medium size. That will fit in tablets, smaller laptops, larger phones, all that. And then if the thing about phones though is that, especially for smaller screens, it doesn't really go by pixel size. Then it goes more by your most compact for a phone screen. Because it doesn't go by pixel size; it goes by physical size, because the phone's so tiny anyway that the pixel size is irrelevant. Because they just want to make everything on the phone as zoomed in and as big as possible so you can see it, because it's very tiny. So yes, phones will be our smallest version. It'll compact down there.
The thing is that what I'm thinking about is that how many comics are designed, originally drawn by the creators to be easily viewable on phones? I, for one, never do it, and I don't think I can be bothered to do that.
Yeah.
They will have to make every single frame differently, and I don't know, allow the site to stack it.
That would be a massive functionality undertake. Some people have done that.
I don't think it's doable. Personally. And that should be something to take into consideration. Like when you have comics, you are supposed to read them as a comic page and not as a comic column. I mean, how do you do layouts? I don't have a layout problem because it's very boring, but other people make amazing layouts that you're not supposed to look at frame by frame, but page by page. So I don't think we should worry too much about the phone functionality per se, because it's art that is not meant to be seen through the keyhole of a screen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you take comics as they come when you're looking at a phone. It's mainly just the functionality of the site that will sort of fix up for looking at on the phones rather than the comics themselves. Very much so. But say when you're looking at a comic on the phone, it's just not the comic though, it's also the comments underneath it and the author notes. And you have a great big ad in the way that crushes down the width of the author notes and the comments. So that we'll have to change the layout of those for phones. That's one of the things. If we can, I don't know. Damn column. Go on, Bones.
I look at the site on my phone fairly often, and you have to zoom in obviously to get to stuff. But it on my phone anyway, it works pretty well.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really go on the forum. Let's see the forum. I'm not getting squeezed by ads really. It just kind of basically looks like the site itself. maybe I'm probably missing something. I'm not, I'm old. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I don't know. Everything seems to kind of work,
Yeah, the site works on a phone. It's just that it's rather tiny, and you have to zoom in to do, like, say, if you're commenting on the forums, you have to zoom constantly.
So it would squeeze out these ads from the horizontal kind of thing and put them somewhere else or whatever. And I guess that's what the phone optimization does.
And also, I don't know, increase the size of some things. Like, say, the forums are very difficult
font size, yes.
Yeah.
Increase the font size for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Updates even to be able to read comfortably.
Yeah. Forums are very difficult in that regard. And, say, author comments are quite tiny underneath comments. And
yeah, that's true. I almost never bother with them for that reason when I'm on looking on the phone. Yeah, that's true.
And the functionality links as well. Everything's at a fixed size. Nothing changes, which we somehow need to fix. Although, yeah, I'm not sure how much work that would take.
We'd have to ask someone, like about that optimization, and they would tell us.
Yeah. But it'd be good also to have other people, offer us design, like, ideas for these things. The front page is an attractive one to do because everyone sees it and it's the first page on the website. So it's fun to do that, but we need these optimizations we need these redesigns for everything, for the news list, the news posts, for looking at those, for the bloody forums, for the user control panels. Everything needs updating because the whole site is old-fashioned.
Yeah. I think, if you need to prioritize things, color scheme and font size are, like, in my opinion, would be top of the priorities, because boldness, if it's comfortably functional, despite being relatively old, might not be super new in terms of looks. Yeah. But if it works well and if it's easy to use and stay on, by most people.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if we did just update the front page by itself initially and nothing else, that would be a huge step for us, because it would change the look of the initial version of the site and encourage people to stay on, and then they'd slowly be initiated into the horrors that lie within the terrible design inside the website. We tricked them into thinking, oh, this is a nice updated new site. No! Back in the early 2000s, shit. No, our site only dates from 2010, actually, so it's about... Not our site, but this version of our site dates from 2010, I think. So, yes. I'm a Max Headroom model on your screen.
On mine, too, yeah.
Oh, really?
You're coming through like,
like, I get what you're saying, but, like, it's got, like,
there's a jitter,
that's why I didn't want to point it out, because, I mean, you're coming through and what came about it, but yeah, I was finding it more funny than anything. I don't know why. I'm done right now. But, like, even your movements are all jerky and stuff. And catch the wave. Anyway.
Chance is doing that on my screen, actually. Sounds like Davros from
I'm not doing anything. I mean, I'm doing what I usually do, guys.
No, it's your connection.
I know, it's your connection. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe because I'm. This is the laptop, but this is the first.
Oh, I'd noticed. Yeah, you have a different background behind you. My God.
Yes. I'm in the living room.
That's incredible. Is that a Greek hat behind you on the door there?
Yeah, it's a vase.
I see.
It's a vase, but I'll try to show you. There you go.
Lovely. Look at the size of that tassel. That tassel would make any
because
Turk shrivel up.
It's for women. It's for women, and the women have bigger, fuzzier tassels.
Yes, women are fuzzier. That's true. That's true. The men are sort of longer in there. Like, yeah, that's.
Yeah, they are longer and narrower and more blue.
You see, the Greeks they have the way of the world. I love it. Well, we won't be incorporating fezzes into the Drunk Duck design at this stage. Possibly later. You never know. Oh, yes. Sharing. That's another important thing. We need like Facebook. All the social media functionality is nowhere on the site. I mean, it's there. It's some places. But we need to incorporate that more in the site. Mm-hmm. It just has to happen.
Yeah, like embedding video. If you're allowing everybody to embed video on there.
Yeah, that's another functionality thing. Unfortunately, a functionality.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a good thing. It's just to be able to like share video the way we used to be able to do actually on the site. Even in the forums, we used to be able to post videos.
Mm-hmm.
And all that disappeared.
Like I have to say that of course is something that used to be very popular as a subject. The new refurbishment, that the previous site was more functional.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if we could get that. I mean, a big chunk of that code, and if it could still be used. I mean,
that was a fantasy that we all sort of wanted, but yeah, we can't actually do that. No, it's that's the El Dorado, but we'll never actually get there again. that code is gone, and
we can always hope.
Yeah, it was sort of held together by sticky tape and glue and string. It was, and we don't use that style of code anymore. But there were a lot of good parts about it. So really what we have to do is sort of just, if we want to add that kind of functionality that we used to have, we just got to brainstorm and say, okay, which bits of functionality do we want, like video, and then how will we have it? How will it be implemented? I think the video is a pretty easy one because that's just like a link and it's just meant to show up somehow. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a programmer. It just works. Yeah. And maybe we'll go to a different forums. Maybe we'll use like some kind of open forum that's meant to be popular. Maybe that will be better than using our current forums. I'm not sure. People have said that, though I'm not sure what that would add to the site, or I don't know. But yeah, look and feel is what we sort of will focus on initially, and then we'll go to that. Because I think if we get a good look and feel, that will encourage people that, oh my God, things are happening on the site. That will make them more amenable to the idea of paying for crowdfunding to get a big thing happening, like the whole collation of comments, which is what we really want.
Yes. Let's go that way.
Yeah,
and entice people into doing this.
Exactly. You've got to go the baby steps. Got to go the right strategy. So yeah, look and feel. So far, I like my solution the best, but maybe someone else will come up with something new. I know actually, Scream came up with something, but I think this would fit more for the layout of the mobile kind of optimized version of the site. I don't know if I can share it with you guys. I'll try. Is there any? How do you share images on here? Is there some? I have to do a link to it, don't I? All right, I'll upload
You could
this.
just show it on that. I mean, project your screen.
Yeah, do the share screen thing.
I can share my screen. Okay. Whereabouts is this damn image? All right, I'll bring it up and then I'll share my screen. My documents. Junk. Haha. Okay.
This is great for the listeners right now of the Quackcast.
Oh, they've heard worse.
Yeah, assume they have lasted this long anyway. So.
Yes. All right. Now sharing screen. Okay. There we are. Share. Is that working?
Share the land and share the... Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
So this is Scream's idea,
Yeah,
which is
that works.
clever.
Yeah.
So he's only got latest updates there and features, and everything else is gone. So he's just got those no news. So, but anyway, that's a good idea of just a very compact version of the site, which would work very well on a mobile screen. So you see,
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually it looks very usable.
yeah.
This it has this how do you call it? Like a list of links.
Yeah,
Everything else.
it does. It works well. He's designed it nicely. So that's
And the
his
color
version.
scheme.
Yeah, orange and yellow, more duckish in a way.
Yeah, and also it has the grey background where you actually
Yeah.
need to read stuff. It is super, super good. Like my eyes are really
Yeah, it's
happy.
very
And-
readable. It's easier to see and stuff, yeah.
When I tend to think it's a bit too simplistic in ways, so I wouldn't want the full version of the site to be as simple as that. But it is really, really good. He's done it well. I love it. It's bold and it's exciting. So, yeah. So hopefully we'll have some other people coming up with some really inspirational layouts.
I was just talking that whole time, and then I was getting pissed because people kept talking over me. Then I realized I still had my microphone.
You're mute.
on. I'm like, why did they not hear what I said a second ago? Why are they saying it? Why these stupid people? What's going on?
Stupid heads! Bunch of stupid heads!
Just rudely
Stupid
ignoring
head.
everything.
Well, actually, we could hear you, but
I agree, not for the overall site. Yeah, but I think, like you were saying, for like a phone version could be good, but I think it's much too simplistic for it's like the other end of the spectrum of the problem that we had, right? It's not at the other end.
Yeah.
It's too simplistic, and to be honest, the colors remind me a little too much of like it's probably just something that I've seen in the past, but like an advertisement for something. It's something that I wouldn't look at long because I would assume it was something else.
A pop-up. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It could have that kind of connotation. So yeah, but yeah, it points us in a great direction for how we can use mobile stuff. All right, I think this has been an interesting intro to the whole idea of a Drunk Duck redesign. And I hope we have some more people contributing to this ongoing discussion. Okay.
So there's a discussion in the forum. I guess obviously there'll be a link to that in this.
Yep, as well as the
that
news
stuff
post,
too, yeah.
and yeah, hopefully we'll have some more people coming up with ideas and comps, they used to call it when they were redesigning the whole thing years ago, 2010. They used to say design comps, and we'd have access to this folder. Only us us admins would have access to this little folder. We could see all the designs as they were being made by the paid graphic designers in LA. And we would secretly despair, School Monkey and I. We'd be thinking, what the hell are they doing? These bloody greens and yellows and oh my God. And we couldn't really say, oh no, yes, oh no, because it would go through this whole big chain of command at Wowio back in the LA offices. So there's no suggestions we could make would really do anything. And we'd be thinking, oh, but the functionality, you're taking out all this stuff. And, oh, God.
Yeah.
So it was a time of despair and also hope as well, because we were seeing the site change and being fixed up and, you know, new things done. So it was a weird time. But, yeah. The glory days... We should almost change the Drunk Duck name from the Drunk to the Drunk Phoenix, because we have risen so many times. It's
or the Duck Undead, like the Duck Undead.
The Undead.
They never stop.
Jesus Duck.
Yeah, but then you're gonna get a lot of controversy. I don't know if you want that.
Oh, the holy dog. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our talk, and hopefully you'll contribute. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. This has been Quackcast number 326. Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Bye.